Alright, ladies and cupcakes, we are back. Let's jump into it. Let us see what we're gonna fight here.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorn. I have to be ready to face anything.
I just thought of something though.
Whatever happens.
I actually don't think it's necessarily a fight right away, because before every single fight they fill up our CP and HP, but right now there is none, so I think it's just gonna be a cutscene for the time being. But let's see.
I'm determined to save Shion and Dahna. Nothing I learn can change that.
Oh, I have to walk in myself? Wow, okay. Oh, okay. What are we looking at? Forbidden zone. Some sort of a gate and a couple of rooms.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out.
I want to check out the...
We should go through that room some more before we move on.
Oh, actually, I recognize this. This is where Alphen was in his flashback. Then there was a guard here and a guard here. And these were like the control rooms or something. Forcing us to go here anyways.
This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
We're gonna have to spend 20 minutes having our team catch up with things that we already know as the viewers.
For the people of Lenegus, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How did they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority. Grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
I don't know, man. Based on how they explain the hierarchy of their society, it seems pretty reasonable that the Sovereign and whoever the Sovereign deems necessary are the only ones that have access to this. I don't know why they're so shocked. In their world, it seems to make sense. I don't think the Sovereign is anything important. I think it's the AI lady, but whatever. We'll see. An operating table. Many subjects undoubtedly never came back alive from their operations on this. Is that a box? No. And here I thought there were loot in my RPG game. Interesting. I wonder if they were researching if the astral energy could make plants grow or something, or if they could make plants grow with astral energy or something. And that has something to do with Rena, which could back up my hypothesis that Rena is completely deserted and destroyed. A notice. This area will now be shut down as the project proceeds to its final phase. It's showing Lenegis structures. You can see pipes for transporting astral energy sticking out of them. Okay. It's showing this room's equipment. It hasn't been used in a long time. There was something else here, wasn't there? Damn, there was a question mark. I mean, exclamation mark here, wasn't there? Ah, what the hell? Let's go.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Dahnan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure taking the form of a Dahnan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns. neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
A couple of thoughts. What if this whole crown contest thing was extended because Alphen ran away? And it's because of him that they had to keep doing it. Another thing, seems they're leaning the way of, I think it's been doing this for a while now, that the crown contest is just a scheme to siphon astral energy into one place so they can create the Dark Master Core, which will then be used for something. Well, I guess we'll figure out what. And also, I hope there is more to Volron than him just being some sort of broken usurper. Which I don't think it is. It seemed to have been in the beginning. But when we found him in his on his throne, it just seems like he was some sort of psychopath. Some sociopathic usurper. Which kind of killed the character for me. I was kind of hoping he had like a really good reason to do what he did, like a really deep reason for it. But he could still have. We don't know. We'll see. Anyways.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah. We wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Oh my... That skit is so cheesy and fluffy. I wish somebody would just say like, if you do that, I'll shoot you. Like that That would be way more funny if Xian would just say, if that happens, I'll shoot you. I think that would be more funny and more in character. It's like the cheese is being laid on so thick and so fluffy right now. We need some humor here. Select a topic to explore. Lords. Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as lords vying to serve as the next sovereign. During this tenure, they are granted level 3 authority, as well as one of the 5 elemental realms to administer, and its corresponding master core. They are also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude. Other variables such as age have no bearing whatsoever. Because only the strongest go on to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out a master core's powers. All Renans must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Furthermore, in the event that an acting lord is incapacitated and can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. Okay, select the topic. Unique Adjustment Index Test Subject Report. The following is a report on the second successful case of Sovereign Test Subject Experimentation. Test Subject 1010-5, given name Volron, generation not announced. Your unique adjustment index, ethnicity not announced. I think that's what NA means. Or not applied. Non-applicable. Non-applicable, I think, actually. Whatever. NA. Although subject possesses high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability along with a strong distaste for following orders. You see, this is what I'm afraid of. This is kind of what I'm afraid of. I was hoping that Volron did not turn out to be some sort of mentally unstable usurper. I was kind of hoping he would be the calmest and the most intelligent of them all, and he knew some things we didn't, which would be the root of his actions. But, you know, can still be the case. As such, the risks it surpass even those of the last successful subject, itself a failure. Whoa, hold on. As such, the risks it possesses surpass even those of the last successful subject, itself a failure, and is therefore under consideration for disposal. That would be Alphen. So they're actually classifying Alphen as a failure, but Volron as a higher risk than Alphen. Wonder what risks Alphen had. Maybe guilt? Addendum. This is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to established control protocols. Subject is to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and will be dispatched to Dahna under the guise of serving as a lord. Select the topic to explore. Okay. Sovereign. Sovereign acts as Lenegis' central control device for... Okay, here we go. This is actually some information. Could have cutscene this, but whatever. The Sovereign acts as Lenegis' central control device for the spiritual channeling ceremony. Each one is... Okay, never mind, we've seen this. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID quest. A Dahnan subject serves as the base of its creation. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period, and stability is still not guaranteed for those who survive it. This instability, coupled with the Sovereign's power of astral manipulation, pose a high risk to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the Sovereign in the spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. No effective alternate methods to perform the ceremony have been found. Is the maiden the stabilizing mechanism? Curious. Trials on Dahnan subjects are authorized to continue. Addendum 2. Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. The Maiden. The Maiden, okay, it is. The Maiden acts as a sovereign support mechanism for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Renan subject serves its functions providing the sovereign with a supplemental dark astral energy it lacks in tandem with the Renans Alma. During the ceremony, it is partly responsible for astral energy conversion, as well as maintaining stability over the sovereign's own power. So they're referring to both the maiden and the sovereign as it. So maybe the it doesn't have to be male or female in either role. Even though they use the word sovereign and maiden. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between the maiden and the sovereign has been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. Because of this, trial activations of sovereign without the maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the sovereign nor the maiden are to be informed about the details of the spirit channeling plan. Addendum 1. Mental instability in the maiden has been deemed the cause of the past sovereign's rampancy. That will be in Neori. Countermeasures must be considered. Mental instability in Neori. I mean, I kinda got a feeling that Neori knew more than Alphen, and that she kinda caused whatever happened. Even though we have very little detail. And even though the game kind of presents it as Alphen remembers everything, or most of it, we haven't seen a lot of it. Addendum 2. In line with plan adjustments, the current subject will have its maiden registration revoked and be returned to its original household. Okay. Do we have to do it on all of these? Ugh. I didn't grab myself anything to drink. I'm a little dry here. Master cores are instruments of power containing astral energy that belongs to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these master cores, those with earth, water, fire, wind, and light, are loaned to Renan lords at the time of the crown contest. Only the dark master core is maintained inside the forbidden zone until the Renans Alma is ready to be reformed. Its existence kept top secret. Underneath the Master Core's spherical outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in a dormant state. For the duration of their tenure, each lord competes in the crown contest to amass energy, allotted type of astral energy. In the event of an emergency, each lord may be allowed to withdraw from the respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Addendum 1. Design flaws have been discovered in how the Renans Alma materializes. Be advised that active master cores may resonate with other master cores located in close proximity to and become unstable. That's way from earlier in the game. Addendum 2. Due to successful regeneration of the Renans Alma, Master Cores will cease to be deployed and the crown contest will be permanently halted. Due to successful regeneration of the Renans Alma... Okay, so this is the first time? So is this the first time they managed to do it? Due to the successful regeneration of the Renans Alma, Master Cores will cease to be deployed and the crown contest will be permanently halted. Alright. Spirit cores are end terminals used for collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, it establishes connection through its body. I think those are the little crystals that the slaves had on their hands. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means that Dahnans must be employed to harvest the astral energy for the purpose of the crown contest. Given the difficulty in producing them, it is advised that spirit cores be retrieved from the host bodies and reused upon their death. Spirit cores can also be embedded in Zeugles to control them via astral arts. Addendum: increased physical load on host body tends to produce increased astral energy emissions. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on host bodies without inducing death for maximum astral energy yield is still pending. Lenegis. A large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the elemental composition of Dahna's astral energy and transmits it to Rena. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign, Maiden, and Rena's Alma within the central core of Lenegis. It is comprised of classified and essential personnel residence zones around a large conduit, along with a defensive layer surrounding them. This outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as the stabilization mechanism. Due to its design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to residential zones. However, because that only takes place during final stages of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan to address said damage is needed. Until that phase, Lenegis serves as the central base of operations for the management and execution of the crown contest on Dahnan. Warning: only personnel with level 3 authority or lower is strictly Any personnel with level 3 authority or lower is strictly forbidden from the classified zone. That means that there are people with level 4 or higher authority. Any violators will be immediately executed. Detachable spirit vessels. I think that's what it said. A massive spirit vessel placed on Dahna for the spirit channeling ceremony serves as the tip of Lenegis' conduit, from which it separates upon landing in Dahnan waters. Extends 2 sets of conducting pathways, the vertical pathways connecting to the center of Dahna. Meanwhile, the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Dahna. Once activated, it links to the biological spirit vessels placed in each realm, efficiently harvesting the planet's astral energy en masse. The accumulated energy is then transmitted to Rena via Lenegis. Okay, so the crown contest is to assemble the Rena's Alma, I think. And then when that is done, they send they call it a wedge down to amass astral energy. I think that summarizes it. Because construction and adjustment take place in the Forbidden Zone's regulator area, Lenegis' outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface with it when necessary. No other personnel is required for it to function. Addendum 1. Detachable Harvester 1 was lost on Dahna after exploding due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. I think this is Alphen. Not us, but Alphen in the past, 300 years ago. Addendum 2. Detachable Harvester 2's landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. This due to the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Dahna. Okay, so it's all the first one already detached, and then the Sovereign, well, Alphen did whatever he did. Select the topic. Alright, last one maybe? Sedative Mask. A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized, particularly as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended as prolonged use of this device carries the risk of inducing a number of adverse side effects. Addendum: due to the loss of production facilities incurred from the partial destruction of Lenegis, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. That should be Alphen's mask. Brainwashing report. After receiving reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Dana's... Okay. After receiving reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Dana's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. The system is unique in that it elevates only the Lord as the supreme authority while relegating both Renans and Dahnans alike to enslavement. Okay, so this is the cognitive state of people in the water area. Ganeth Haros, I think. Test subject Volron serves as the realm's current lord and has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or special devices. Rather, it has done so by sheer governance. Given this method's effectiveness at population control, monitoring of the situation will continue. And then the one, collapse of cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression, rooted in violence and fear, has proven to be key to this style of rule. Once a subject loses its autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, it remains an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and slaves for manual labor. Addendum 2. Soldiers in Lenegis who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sectors as a trial. The result will be monitored. That's why the green soldiers seem like they were just as brainwashed. They applied Volron's method of brainwashing. I mean, suppression. Man, that's not the nicest way to tell a story game. Forcing people to read to terminals. They could have easily cutscened this. It would have taken a tenth of the time. Not that I have any problem reading, it's like... It's a video game, it's quite a visual medium. Should take advantage of that to give us a visual story. A room unchanged over 3 centuries is like time itself has stopped here. I mean, if the writers really wanted to write a lot, they could have released Tales of Arise the book. You know? I would read it. I think it would be nice. Honestly.